Welcome back to the FD podcast. I know we've had a short hiatus, but we'll go into that a bit later. So without further ado, most of you know Alana.
Hi.
She's back. You'll have seen her prolific rise on social media recently, shows, parenting and all the good stuff. And our first guest on the rebrand is Hayley.
Hey.
And as I'll dive right in, Hayley's transformation is probably one of the most dramatic we've seen or had. And it's not come with some questions and criticism. And one of the major questions has been, or actually statements, which is untrue, is a transformation like that must have come from surgery, because obviously it can't come from habit management, trials, tribulations, ups and downs. So Hayley, how does it feel to be one of the most controversial transformations we've done?
I don't really know. It's odd. I mean, looking back at the before photo, I don't really recognise myself then. And yeah, when I look at some of the photos that I compare, to how I look now, it is wild. I can see why people would sort of question if I've had anything done, or if if there was gastric sleeve or a tummy tuck involved, or anything like that. But yeah, I'm very proud to say that no, there's no surgery, no band. It was just hard work and consistency and really good coaching.
And how long has it been since? So talk people through because what I like some people to understand is a lot of times it can be the same with business, relationships. It's pressing the button, the go. A lot of people, and myself included, procrastinate. It's always, will it be perfect? Can I start? Will I get the ball rolling? Will I fail? What made you come to us? And also, more importantly, how was the decision made?
So I had my son in the October 2021, and then it got to January 2022, and I thought, right, okay, I've got to do something about this weight. I think I took some photos of myself in the December, and I was like, oh my God. So initially, I was with another coach.
Jesus.
Didn't go, I don't want to say didn't go too well, but I got to a point where I was given a set amount of calories and I just went wild, and then had a binge, and then obviously no longer got coaching there. And in between all of this, I was following you, I was following Alana, and I was just too scared. I was like, oh, I'm not there yet. I don't think I can do it. And then once I'd had that binge and I realised, no, I just want to give this a go. I'm kind of looking at my son going, I don't want to be that mum where I'm constantly yo-yo dieting, like almost pushing all my insecurities onto him. And then, yeah, so it got to the April 2022.
And how long postpartum was that?
So that was 6 months.
6 months,
That was
yeah.
6 months.
So still a new mum.
Yeah, and I'd had a cesarean, and yeah, and I'd reached out after putting a lot of that weight back on as well. And it was just from there, I just looked and thought, right, okay, it's April. I've got, I was going back to work in the October that year. I thought, give it all you can. You've got this much time off work, just throw everything at it. And then if you fail, then you can spend the rest of your life going, right, I failed, I tried. So yeah, and that's when I joined you in April.
So a lot of the talk is of mum guilt, parents. And again, I'm pretty stern on the fact that I believe that children don't ask to be born, and you should do your best at whatever that looks like. That could look like a 1% change. That could look like throwing themselves into a mind, body and financial transformation. But what did that mum guilt feel like? Because obviously you said you did it for Aiden. You didn't want to be that mum. And that perspective is hard for most people to get to. I get lots of pushback from people saying you shouldn't put pressure on new mums. Well, you'd put the pressure on yourself. So why did that matter? Because obviously it did matter, because that was the catalyst.
I just didn't want to be one of those. I know I just didn't want to embarrass him. I didn't want to not be able to run after him, have the energy to keep up with him. I didn't want to eventually, when he goes to school, almost be embarrassed because I hadn't taken care of myself. So I just think all of those combined, and one of the weirdest things, I couldn't get my engagement ring back on at the time. And I remember, Googling, and I ended up on Mumsnet. Like when
Shout out to
will I be able
Mumsnet, Francis.
when will I be able to get my engagement ring back on? And I don't mean
oil.
to be negative, but all the comments were from women that had just given up. They'd gone, ha ha, just it'd be cheaper just to enlarge it. Ha ha. Like it was just a forum, and there was just negative comment after negative comment of basically that's it. You put on all this weight when you're pregnant, There's no chance you're losing it without medical intervention. Deal with it. And I sort of remember reading those going, I don't want to give up just yet. I could just try. I could try and see what happens. So that is what
And
we did.
obviously postpartum's hard. Like you said, women have to deal with hormonal fluctuations, which don't always ratio out on their own. You've got a new life coming in, depending on whether you're with your partner, how supportive they are. Do you think there's anything wrong with self-improvement postpartum? Do you think there's anything wrong with, like you said, holding yourself to a higher standard than a lot of the mums, rightly or wrongly, had kind of given up on?
Look, there were days where it was hard. There were lots of days where it was hard where Aidan had been up all night, I'd had no sleep, and I'd had whatever I had on plan that I had to get done. And there were days where I'd think, I can't do it, like almost in tears, trying to run or the simplest things. But I think it was just more about just trying and giving it a go. I don't think it's a bad thing to try and work on yourself. Once you've had your baby, you want to be the best version of yourself.
I do think people, though, they do like to sham you. I think being there myself, you do get shammed for wanting to improve yourself. I think that's a big thing. It's a sort of split that you either should just put up and shut up and accept that's it, now you're a mum. If you want to move out of that and improve, I think you can get shammed for that as well. You do get a lot of people that are like, don't rush it, don't do this, don't do that. But when you're trapped in that body, and I think postpartum, no one prepares you for that. When you're pregnant, you're growing that baby, you can see what's there. You come out of hospital, no one tells you that your body is going to go through this weird enigma where you're carrying the water, you're squishy, your belly looks weird, everything looks weird, your hormones are going wild, you've got this newborn baby that's just screaming. You're a lot of the time on your own, a long hours of the day. We both were saying about this similarity on the way
Shout out
up.
to mums.
Yeah, and then it is, our partners both work really savage hours. So we were spending a long time on our own, which all you're doing is caring for that baby, and there's just snacks. So you get into really bad mindsets with the snacking, the grabbing and going. And I think there's a lot of people that do sham you for wanting to get in shape.
Yeah.
It's, I think that, there should be more positivity of training, like whether it was going out for a walk with the pram, right, here's your meals, it's going to make you function better. Because I think that's the main thing that we get from people that do have the young babies, and they get on our programme and then they say, do you know what, you're just saying eat that and do that. It takes away thinking about what I'm eating. They have a structured eating regime, and I know for me, more mental health side of it, that made me function so much better. So I think it needs to be more positive for any mums, but with mums with young ones, of like how good it is to get on a plan and actually be able to have a structured eating plan that's going to make them function better when they're absolutely exhausted. Instead of grabbing for a packet of biscuits and they've got like good food, it's a win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you'd seen mums in it, and like I say, I'm really subjective and objective to how people feel. There's a myriad of complications which result in people feeling negative rather than positive. But you chose to go against that. We spoke about it a few months ago after your photo shoot, so I'm going to kind of lily hop but come back to it. At what point do you then look in the mirror? And one of the things I try and get across to everyone is, and it sounds cliche that it's you versus you, but if you don't hold yourself to a higher standard, you won't be strong enough to go against the naysayers and, like Lana said, or all the people that shame you. When you went to that point where you committed to the plan, days get hard, and obviously our plan's pretty flexible when you're post-pregnancy. There isn't a hard and fast rule you have to achieve X, Y, and Z every week. But what was it that, you must have been in a bubble on your own. I don't know if you knew Alana that well yet, or you were even close enough like you are now to become each other's drivers. What was the hardest part of having that new mum experience, sleepless nights, a partner that worked? Obviously you were going back to work at some point. How hard was it for you to literally stand on your own and go, I'm looking in the mirror, I want to do this for myself and Aidan?
Yeah, no, it's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Especially when the people around you, at one point during that, because I'd say in that first year I'd lost most of that weight.
Yeah.
So when I was getting close to my pre-baby weight, it still wasn't a body that I'd recognise really. But I mean, I wasn't happy at that weight. I just didn't really know it until
Which
I got
is
there.
okay to not be happy
Yeah.
still.
But I remember when I got to there, I had a lot of people close around me going, but you're at your goal, you're nearly at your goal weight. You don't need to. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of cheerleading.
And how does that feel?
Yeah, it was really hard. It was really hard and really lonely. But I just think because of because you are my coach, I knew I had to check in weekly. It did. I don't know. It just kept me going. I had a plan. I had a diet plan. I don't know. I just managed to just keep going. But I would put that down to being coached well. Because there were days that it was very lonely, and you kind of feel like the whole world's against you, and you do sometimes think, "Oh, am I doing the right thing?" But yeah, it's just a day. Then you wake up the next day and you feel a bit different.
So really, and I know we've all spoke about it on the channel, the putting the one foot in front of the other, not looking past the day. At one point, you must have got to the point where you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, do you know what? I'm really doing this. Was there a point where the momentum was more in your favor personally than negatively, where you actually look at yourself and you go, because obviously we get hundreds and hundreds of comments every time we put a picture out, how has she done this without surgery and things? And I know we had that chat and you said your own standard was the thing that kept you going. At what point did you kind of look at yourself, and think, wow, actually, fuck the people around me, fuck the naysayers, the shame, the mum guilt. I'm actually doing something for me. And I believe strongly as a parent, if you cannot pour from your own cup first, you are an inefficient parent, because you cannot. Parenting is the hardest thing ever. I take my hat off to women, especially Alana said, the hormones, the often lack of empathy from men. Jesus, I'm the least empathetic person in the world sometimes. But what was the point when you were looking in the mirror, like you said about the last shoot, and Hayley just ran a marathon and did a photo shoot, which is pretty much unbelievable for anyone who's not a pro athlete. But looking in that mirror, looking at Aiden, was there a point when you were like, oh, actually, this is now me? And how long? Because some people will think you instantly became a machine.
No.
You have imposter syndrome so bad.
Yeah.
She has the worst imposter syndrome.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think when you first started to put running on plan, I always wanted to run.
Yeah.
And even when I was like 18, 19, 17 actually, let me go back to 17. I had an ex-boyfriend. I'd go, I just really wish I could run. And he used to go, just get up and run, then just get out and run. And I'd go, I can't do that. Look at me. He'd go, you just get up and run like that. I'll come with you. I go, no, you're in chat. No, you're not coming
There is a
with
stigma on runners have to be
But that's
runners.
how we met. That's how we met.
Yeah.
And then, I think when you put running on plan, I ran my first mile, which, by the way, took me about 15 minutes. You can walk that. You can walk a mile in 15 minutes if you speed walk. So there you go. And then when I went running with Alana, when Alana messaged me, I was like, do you fancy a run? I was like, oh, I won't be able to get
And how
on
long
that.
in was this?
Was that the August?
We had the same massage lady, and I think you'd see me when I used to do my runs and chats. And
I used to coach her.
Yes, you
I actually remember well, yeah.
just around the same time. And I think you said to my massage girl, do you think she'd go running with me? And she was like, yeah, just message her. And she's like, oh, if you ever want to go for a run. I was like, yeah, let's go for a run. And we met at the top of my road, didn't we? We went for a run, and we had to do a lot of stopping on my part as well.
But it was fat.
But again, for the listeners, the 15 minutes, the stopping, the walking are all natural processes in building up your ability to do any task. And I think some people need it in reassurance senses, because people think you girls were just made and they don't see the 15-minute runs, which now you potentially couldn't walk it that slow.
Yeah, you're a much stronger runner than me.
Then time elapsed anyway. And that's what I tell people, how long are you deep? 3 years now?
Yes, about 3.5, I think.
So for all of you who are 3 years on again, if you had just started and failed forward, you would be here now. Maybe better, maybe worse, but you would be here and improved. So you'd run. How were you feeling? Because obviously you'd gone from being postpartum in a state where
I had to walk backwards up the stairs.
Yeah. And now you're running. So, how did that feel?
Yeah, it was amazing. I remember I could keep up. I was like, oh, I can.
No, but I think I remember meeting in the car park, and she went, I really don't want to keep you behind, but I see you're good at running. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm a little old donkey. Doesn't matter how many times we stop. I said, but I've got good stamina. I can just keep going. Little old donkey, but we'll just keep going. And then she'd go, but what if I can't talk? And I was like, no, but this is how you'll get a nice pace. And we did. It didn't matter how many times we stopped. And you used to keep apologising. I went, if you apologise, that's it. You can't come again. So she was like, all right then. And then we did. I don't know how long it took us to do that 5 miles, but it was just a case of I said to her, for me, it's more the mental health thing. I need to get out and be outside and do it. And it's nice having someone to do it. And we just built like a bit of a running thing. We used to just go every week, didn't we? And we didn't know each other. I mean, it was like therapy. We'd laugh on them, we'd cry on them, put the worlds to right, and it was just our little bit. We used to go like crazy at early hour of the day, and we'd come back, we'd go wind, right. I remember the first snowy run.
That's amazing.
It's snowing. I went, Hans, you're waterproof, you'll be fine.
You know, you think-
She's like, you're
I
really
love
going to
that
run in
line.
the
You're-
snow.
Some people say to me, it's raining. I'm like, you are waterproof. You know?
That day I
If you
wanted
don't-
to just throw
if you
my
don't walk
phone.
with your mouth open.
She
you're
honestly,
fine.
she got to me, and we literally had this. The sun come up. Actually, makes me feel emotional. And we did. We both stood there and cried. And she went, "This is just beautiful."
People
And-
ask us, don't they? They go, "Was that? Where is that? Was that abroad?" I go,
No,
no,
it's just at the golf club, and we did. We built a really good friendship over it, and I think it was just that tonic. It was free to do. Like I say, it wasn't always brilliant runs, and then to ring you actually makes me emotional. On the way of on your marathon day, and I was like, you're doing this, you're doing this. So it wasn't like you always say, time is going to pass no matter what. And just get up and nothing is perfect. Nothing that we do is perfect. It is just a case of going again. We go again. Okay, that was a shit run. All right, might be a little bit better tomorrow. Mind you, we always say it's shit. And then you've run a marathon, then I've competed in a crazy amount of bodybuilding shows. But we never sort of hype ourselves up and go, well, that was a shit workout, that was a shit run.
Yeah.
But then we always pull it out of our arse somehow. But it's just the consistency and just giving it a go. And like having our kids, he's so proud, Aidan, a little photo of him with the medal on.
I know, that
to
moves
me
I
is
say
pride.
I say this to people a lot about, and obviously we'll speak about the fact that you found each other and why a lot of our clients find each other. And I know groups of clients who are now friends who didn't know each other before the plan, but that's another thing. But when you say your kids win the medals and obviously your daughters have been at your shows, how does it feel then to look back and realize that as hard as it was, you got through it? Because what a lot of people watching this who've never started will think is that day will never come, regardless if time passes. And you're both talking about massive amounts of failure and massive amounts of trepidation and snow and shit runs where they were. But you're here at a standard which most people would cut their leg off for. So going back there, looking at it now, are you proud of yourself for not quitting?
Yeah. I did quit after that first 6 weeks with you, though.
Don't know if you remember. He was a little diva. That's
I
why.
do remember being a little diva.
She was a diva dickhead.
I just was a...
Were you?
Yes.
My God,
No, I
you've
did.
given the hormones you must have made me produce. I can't remember.
I did the 6 weeks.
Did you?
Yeah,
and I just remember going,
So
you
you were diva and she was sacked. So yeah, sorry about that. We need new guests. They're all trying to come in at the back.
That's what I say. You've got to fail a few times to
Yeah.
succeed.
You do have to.
You have to
Right,
fail.
yeah.
You
But
have
that
to
is how
fail.
it just comes into it. I did my 6 weeks. I was happy. I'd lost. I would have to go back and look, but I did lose a decent amount of weight in those 6 weeks. But again, you'd set certain things you'd ask me to do, and I wasn't doing them. And there was, I think, something on my diet that I wasn't
didn't do
doing.
my prep. I did look back through our chats and I must have skimmed
Didn't
those.
You didn't put
and
fish on there, did
I'd
you?
left. Well, I'm glad you didn't get to this bit, to be honest, because I'd left feedback. And you did come back, and you were like, no, it's Darvo. Like, you were right. Everything you said was right. And I went off on my holiday. I was
Personal
like,
note.
Oh, he's always right.
and then Jess, my massage lady, come over about 3 weeks later, and I was like, oh, you look amazing. What have you been doing? She said, I'm on Francis diet. I was like, are you? Oh, I was on it for 6 weeks, and I don't know if he'd have me back. She was like, he'll have you back. Just message him. I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I did message you literally as soon as she'd left. As soon as she'd left, I was like, hello, Scott. Well, can I come back? You're like, yeah, absolutely. It's no problem. And then that was when I haven't stopped since. That was when.
I completely missed that part.
No,
of what I
no.
was doing.
But
It's because you've been such a little golden goose from there.
I was going to bring it up today.
You
I
should
was
have
going to
brought
throw
it
it
up.
under the
bring it
bus.
up.
No, I was.
Wow.
Yeah, I was holding that back.
no, but look, I'm still.
Okay, so let's focus on that, because obviously we focused on Alana's termination when she did it, which I can argue with anybody, made her in a way that, and again, people ask me how you encode messages to people, and sometimes, I am someone who got brought up in a family where nothing you could do was good enough, and that was okay for me. I know athletes who would quit sport with that kind of mode of praise or lack of. So obviously you'd gone and come back. What made you come back?
Because I'd got to my pre-baby weight. I'd got to it. So.
And
coach.
visually wasn't good enough then.
I didn't. No, I don't think it was. But I'd got to my pre-baby weight. The 6 weeks was coming to an end, and I was going on holiday. So I was like, I'm happy. I'm done. La 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 la. Said what I needed to say. Went on holiday. Come back, and it was when I was on holiday. I think there was some holiday photos, and I thought, I just feel like I could do better. I feel like he wouldn't have it. Well, you wouldn't, because I'd said something in my check-in and you'd come back and said, Darvo.
Which, by the way, for everyone, is deflect, aggression, reverse, victim. It's where somebody can't internally rationalize criticism and instead they deflect, they get aggressive and they reverse it.
Yeah.
So it is, even though we all have to say this because everyone thinks everyone has narcissistic traits, but it's one of them that just pertains to the point where you don't feel good enough about yourself to actually take on board criticism, you know?
Yeah.
So you've had that little bit.
So then, and then I saw some holiday photos. I'm still not, I feel like I could do better. I've still got a bit of maternity leave left. And I thought, I feel like I feel like that's the coach that's going to get me there. And then when I saw Jess, I was like, it's 100%. Are you joking? So then, I messaged you and you were like, yeah, it's fine, come back. And I didn't take my foot off the gas after that. I just kept going. My 8 weeks finished. I paid for another 8 weeks. And then I think it got to the Christmas and I paid for 6 months, 6 month block because I thought, just know.
Commit.
Yeah, I just know. And I think at the time people around me were like, but you've had like, you're at your pre-baby weight. I'm like, I know, and I think I could do better.
I think that's why when you said to me, you're like, I'm going to just go in for I'm going to book the 6 months and I just want to give it my all. And I was like, that's the best thing you can do. Because I think when you have got people that are like, you're good now, it can get in your head a little bit, but you know that you want to. I think it's the knowing that you can do more and it is possible. I think we spoke about this on multiple podcasts when it's a case of you don't think the normal person can get to the level that we've got to, and you just look at it's the celebrity or it's this one or it's that one. It's the people that have got the chefs at home. You don't think it's just us normal mums that can get and do the crazy things that we've achieved. You don't really think it's in reach, do you? And then I think when you look at your page and you see the results and you go, well, that is your normal mum, and that woman's got 3 kids, and that woman's got 2 kids, and that woman works shifts at the hospital. I think your page brings the real people together. It isn't you look at there's so many ones out there and it's just celeb. And that to me isn't very endearing. I think that's why I was really drawn to Francis Diet, because it was your mere mortals like me and you that could just get on and do incredible things. I think that's what broke it down. I think that's why I'm passionate of working for a brand like you.
But I think sometimes, and I've said this before, they call it the Conor McGregor kind of wake up in silk sheets thing. And I've worked with really big celebrities down to, the reaching out, took out a lone single mum style. And I sometimes think the drive when you're a celeb is far less because you have everything. You don't, and I've often said this to a lot of people, I'm fortunate enough to know some very wealthy people that still like to do a lot of the grind themselves. They like to clean the office themselves. They like to go out and buy the car. They like to, because there's a certain amount of humility that drives change. And I think sometimes the mums, to use your example, are more superhuman, because I think when you've got the pressure of making your own food, getting the dinner ready, doing your jobs, because you both went back to careers, that internal combustion, when you wake up and you've got hundreds of grand in the bank and there's clever angles and your publicist doesn't let people take an upshot on you and someone's cooking your food, and again, this goes out to nobody in particular, I found them to be somewhat the hardest people to motivate because there's not enough pain to change, or people around them. I've worked with some celebs who I know would have made millions of pounds if they transformed their bodies. People were happy with them making what they made because they were larger people, instead of saying, look, you could be healthier. And actually, if we're going to be blunt about it, you could earn a lot more money by doing a transformation. So as a mum, and I know you'd met Alana at this point, did you ever refer to yourself at the start to really kind of be happy with how far you'd come? Because I know when we spoke, and let me jump forward just a little bit, because obviously a lot of the time we're speaking about is the grind, the get up, get your diet, get your training, set a goal, be a mum, go back to your job, change careers, which we'll talk about in a minute. When it comes to the actual doing it bit, did you ever feel like you became better at it, or did the goals because people say to me all the time about you and Lana, they say, did it get easier? And I'm like, no, because their goal got bigger. And at the end of the day, and I see this in a really crass sense, squatting a barbell is hard when you can't do it, and it's very hard when you advance, because when you advance, you're squatting a shit ton more. Nothing is ever easy, because if you push 100%, and this is why I wanted to touch on our wine chat at the shoot, your own limits become then the higher point.
I feel like the running became easier, so then it almost became a bit like, okay, add a weighted vest, then that makes it a bit more of a challenge. I think personally stepping into the gym was the hardest thing for me, because I'm not naturally very strong. So I mean, I love all parts of working out.
Just not the gym.
Just not the gym. I don't, honestly.
Everyone is a gym bunny.
No.
Oh, I
You said about that on the way up, didn't you?
I did, yeah. When I first went to the gym with Alana, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. And then she come and met me at my gym, and she was like, right, so what are you squatting? I was like, 10 kg. And I saw her sort of go, I think you could probably do a bit more than that, hey? And like it doesn't come naturally to me. So I feel like every part of the journey there's always a challenge. But you just got to keep going because
it's
no
built
one.
up on that. I wasn't doing it in an
No, I know you
nasty
wasn't.
way
No, it was
either.
quite-
But
She WhatsApped me and said, Hayley's weak as shit. I'm embarrassed. And I'm quoting you word for word there. There were all sorts of
Honestly,
faces.
I just wasn't.
But you wouldn't. But it's okay to tell
Yeah.
people that, and a lot because people say to me, Scott, when will I love the gym? And I'm like, I've hated cardio and HIIT, even though I was a national athlete. Every single time I've done it ever, I've never got good at it. I've never been truly fit for my weight or my size or my ability. But you've just got to do it because it's like a part of life you don't particularly enjoy, putting the bins out. You do it because in the big organic space of life, it gets the bins done.
Yeah.
And you've got, so were you ever disciplined to begin with, or do you feel it's come with repetition?
No, I feel like it's come with repetition.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times I've been a member of the gym and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just there going,
Still me.
not really doing anything. It's definitely doing it day in, day out, and just getting used to it. And a little bit like, well, if you don't keep going, you never will get any better. So
Yeah, of course.
just got to keep going, keep trying.
And do you feel now it is any easier? Because obviously we'll talk about your last goals, which again were potentially ones
Crazy.
even I said like, oh, okay,
Um,
Or do you literally like, I think most people would like to know, do you battle every day to keep the ship sailing the way it does?
I say a prayer every time I go into the gym, Scott.
Yeah.
Every time in the car, I go,
yeah.
okay, let's go.
We voice note each other from like 5 a.m. I'm getting ready. Yeah, I'm getting ready. Are you going? Yeah, we're going. And we have this constant, don't we? Oh, I don't want to go. Like we don't really, I think people think we skip
No.
out of bed in the morning and we really don't. Even on some of them runs, we'd get in that car park and we'd just stand there and be like, we going?
But isn't that what people...
I think
don't
people do need to see that
understand.
it is not easy,
Yeah,
and
no,
I
it's
don't
not.
go swinging a
It's
barbell
boring.
about. It's
It's
repetitive.
horrible
It's so
sometimes.
repetitive. It's so mind-blowing boring, especially when we post some of our gym workouts and people go, oh my God, are you doing that hip thrust again? Yeah. Are you doing that again?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, people
Are you
say
doing that
to
hack
me,
squat again?
give me the hate.
Yep.
So I used her post the other day and said, comment hey, and they said, what's the special workout? And I was like, oh no, I'm just going to tell you how she started. She doesn't do anything that you won't do. She's just better at it after 3 years. And they go, oh, what, 3 years? And I'm like, and the irony being, if I asked you to become a millionaire, you'd be like, oh, what's that going to take me, 10 years? You'd understand how long will it take to be a proficient parent? Well, I'm still shit and my daughter's 15, it takes years. And this is the thing I want everyone to know from this in the first half an hour. It's hard, it's boring, it doesn't necessarily get easier. It's mundanely, legitimately tough all the time. But what have you gained out of it?
I'm just a totally different person. I just honestly, just everything from my diet to even the fact that I do work out every day. Like it's just part of my day. It's not something that you kind of slot in anymore. Even my diet, I used to be a really, really, really fussy eater, really bad. And I will turn to Aidan in this sense. He had a lolly the other day, an ice pole. And he was eating it away, and I've come in with my chicken and broccoli, and he went, "Oh, mummy, can I have a bit of your broccoli, please?" And I sort of looked at him. I went, "Yeah, you can, but you don't have to." Like he went, "No, I'd like some." I gave him 2 bits of broccoli on a plate, and I promise he put his lolly down, ate the broccoli. I went, "Oh, that's delicious," and picked his lolly back up. And when you think that could have been really different if I was
Monkey see, monkey do.
healthy,
Yeah, of
yeah.
course.
So, yeah, it's wild. I would never. When I look back to pre-Aidan, I'd be drinking a lot in the week because I worked in the city, so boozy lunches were my thing. Then I'd drink at the weekend, and my diet was just large portions, and it was the same stuff, but yeah, it wasn't very nutritional at all.
And you had a career. This is the one thing. You had a career through this. Did you change fully career or did you change job roles?
I had two jobs. before Aidan, I would do beauty, and I also worked in insolvency.
Yeah.
After having Aidan, I slowed down the beauty because I just could. There's only me. There's only so much hours I can do. So yeah, I focused on insolvency, but I did change firms. I was at one firm for about 10 years. 10 years. And then I decided after having Aidan that I needed to be closer to home, and I'd say pour everything into that job, but I would give, if I needed to be there at 5 a.m, because stuff had to be done, I'd be there at 5 a.m. in
So
the
it was
city.
a demanding city job.
Yeah. And it just got to a point where I was like, I just need to be a little bit closer to home in the same industry. So yeah, I changed careers, changed firms as well.
So and again, I always say to preface things, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mum. So you were navigating all this while having a city career, being the mum at home, the person to provide and clean and cook and things, How was that to navigate? Because again, a lot of people will be like, yeah, but I bet you she was cosseted.
No.
And you weren't, and I know this.
Yeah, no, it was, so...
You and Alana were little workhorses.
Yeah, I would say... so I went back to work in the October when Aidan was 1. So that's when I was back into full-time work, and 4 days. And that was hard, because it's another thing that you didn't really think about. I didn't have as much time, and it was like, but you do just do it. You do just find the time to, or set the time out, because what's the alternative?
And then let me interrupt that.
Yeah.
You were getting in the gym like 4:30 some days. Like we voice note every day through the whole of this process, and you'd be like, I'm back working in the city, got to get the train in, got to drop my son off at nursery. And so if it meant that you were going at 4:30, you join the 24-hour gym, I'm going to have to go at 4:30. So there's no one, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to create the time. And I think when people go, oh, it's all right for them, but it isn't. We have to make the time, and we don't want to. Like I say, and I'll repeat it again, you don't skip out of bed. But I know you're the same. We speak about this. We still have that fear that we could go back to that previous person.
Yeah.
We could, like I said to someone the other day, my engagement ring's sliding off, and I went, frickin' heck, I said, I don't know what to do about my engagement ring. I've got to get it resized. She went, I remember 3 years ago, you said exactly the same thing. You went, but I'm probably going to get fat again, so I don't want to get it done. And you still have that sort of, that we could so easily, we could just miss the gym tomorrow. That could turn into 2 days. That could do 3 days. So we've always just kept it consistent, haven't we? And she's getting up at silly o'clock. Sorry, I've really derailed that conversation there.
No, and again, I wanted these to be informal in the sense of these are the adjuncts that people don't understand. And I want to be able to let you two freestyle it. So talk to the people about the fact that I've always said the best transformations I've ever done come in kind of 3 or 4 categories. People who've got immense pain and they're running from it. People who are insecure. People who don't think they're good enough. And people who are scared of going back, meaning people have got a certain amount of weight and they're like, Jesus, I can go back. I'm one bread and butter sandwich away from binging. I'm one, people, maybe they've been in a relationship they're in and they're like, Christ, don't know if I can be lonely now because lonely makes me be self-destructive. So I'd rather stay with the abusive partner. That the unfortunate cycles people get in. So when you were thinking about, the times when you could have quit or you could have gone backwards, let's fast forward a little bit, because I think you can come in on this bit as well, Lana. So we met up a few months ago. You just done the Milan Marathon and then decided, which again, so she's running marathons while keeping lean, and then said to me, well, I think I'll do a photo shoot afterwards. Now, anybody who's a coach knows there's something called fatigue management and rate of recoverable volume. That, in layman's terms, is don't be a silly twat trying to do too much where your body has to compete with different energy systems. Hayley decided to be that twat.
A coach's nightmare.
And she said to me, and I'll be honest, I went, you're a mum, you've got a career, you're a housewife, you're already stacking stress, but okay, because I think there's something in you which rises to these things. And you did the marathon, you smashed it, and there were a few complications there.
Works well under pressure.
Yeah. And then you did a photo shoot and absolutely looked your best. Yeah. And then you said something to me, met up, and I might quote you wrongly, so please jump in. You said that you were looking at yourself in the mirror, unquote, quote unquote, and you thought you could do better.
Yeah, I think I need to, it was
so
to my other photo shoots.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just my very, very first photo. No, not my very first photo. That was a joke. So the first photo shoot I did in the October, I loved. And the other photo shoots I've done since, it's not that I didn't love them. It's just I knew a look that I wanted to go for, and I just wasn't getting there. I just wasn't getting there. And I just thought, after the marathon, I hadn't stacked on loads of weight. It just felt like I was bigger than what I was used to. I was coming into summer. I didn't want to. I knew there was going to be a photo shoot at the end of the year, and I thought I don't actually think I can stay like this till then.
Yeah, of course.
So I thought, right, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to book a photo shoot straight after that marathon, and I'm like, 8 weeks, that'd be enough time. I wish I'd given myself 10 weeks. By the way, I don't know why. I just wish I had.
I think we were out on a run and you said it, and I went, "What does Scott think about that?"
So Lana messaged me, and I was like,
Think about that one, because that's
well, I'm
two
not
ends of
being-
the spectrum
I'm not
there.
being negative, but fucking hell, like that's because people who might not know, to fuel a marathon and then ask your body to recover from any injuries, inflammation, just wear and tear mentally, to then diet to your best, because this is what Hayley, I'm trying to get across. She wanted to be her best.
Yeah.
Is two ends of the complete spectrum for a busy mum. For a PT working in gym, 18 years old, without the wear and tear of a life, C-section and stuff, potentially, still really, really too close together. But you did it and you smashed it. And then you said to me, and I said, well, like, what goes through your mind? And you wanted to just be better.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, right, I do want to do a photo shoot this year. I'm gonna do it 8 weeks after the marathon. And I thought, right, what's going to scare me? Like I need, and
What's
that's
going to
when
scare me?
Yeah, that's why I wanted that photographer, because I remember every single photo shoot that comes up that he has done. I'm like, wow, they look amazing.
Shout
they look
out to
amazing.
Yanni.
And it almost scared me. I thought, right, don't fuck about.
Yeah.
You've got to do this.
So did you, because I say this to a lot of people, because they watch you only really hear the more famous people say, they look in the mirror and say, you know, I remember watching American football player called Brett Favre literally say, he looks in the mirror and goes, stop fucking about, Brett, do better. Did you say that internally? Because I talk to myself a lot, because no one likes me, so I have to. But I say to myself a lot, you know, I'll say, fucking hell, you're not too old, get fucking up, do your cardio. You know, my son will think you're a shit if you just throw back to when you're 20 all the time. Did you do you self-talk? Because a lot of people say to me, and I'm quite rude back, they go, I haven't got motivation today. And I'm like, strip naked, look at yourself, tell yourself this is shit. Like that should be, in my opinion, all it takes. So what drove you to do 2 tasks at, you know, you're not obviously, you only got 34?
33.
33, yeah.
Adding
33,
an extra.
sorry.
Oh.
33, sorry.
Well, we only had
You know,
one
that's why
top up
dyslexia. When
last
I've got
week.
your date of birth in my head. So you're 44.
No, I'm 46 in a week and a half.
Well, you can both
would
share
have
it.
said
You can both share it a year. Nice and not nice. So what was the internal talk?
No, yeah, we say a prayer every time we
day.
go in the gym.
Should have a little moan to me on the voice note. I'd say,
Poor Alana gets
listen,
it all.
listen,
I've said
do it or don't do it or shut up. That was literally, that's all you get off me.
The moaning
I was
goes
writing
to
prep
Alana.
them as
From the
well.
best,
And I
though.
went, don't even say you're hungry. Don't even say you're hungry.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think I'm just very much just try your best. You've done it now. You've booked. You've paid the photographer. You've set the gut.
Commit.
Just got to try. Yeah,
Commit.
you just got to do it.
The
And
goals drive you.
Yeah.
I think they drive us all. And that's why every year you just want to push that a bit more. And
Yeah.
I did think you was absolutely bananas doing it. I was like, really? And then a couple of weeks in, you went, why don't I give myself 10 weeks? I went, because you're fucking crazy. But you did. Like, I don't. You
But
pulled it out your arse. You trained like.
Did the urgency make it work?
Yeah. I think it did.
yeah. God.
Nothing like being half naked in front of people to justify
And spending
why
a
you didn't
fortune
work
on a
hard
photo
enough.
shoot. That would do it every time.
You know,
Oh yeah, that sprung me out of bed every morning.
because I'll be honest with people, like the diet in the last 2 weeks was brutal.
I know.
You know, you can't reverse that kind of a thing. And again, I got to say to people, not everyone wants to look their best and their leanest, and that's fine. But because I saw a post by I don't know why, she's got 1 million followers anyway, but she was critiquing a bodybuilder and people were like, oh, that's crazy. I said, no, but that's what it takes. If that's what it takes, that's what you do. And you don't model it by any normal standard.
No.
So I wouldn't have said to anyone, run a marathon, do that diet that way, to do a photo shoot with being a mum. But when you did it, what was the sense of accomplishment? Because I want to try and get through to people, because Alana's said it till she's blue in the face. How does that feel to do things that people can't do?
Yeah, it's. I don't want to sound humble, but I don't know. I think where I was coached through it, it's amazing. Like looking at it, I'm like, wow, you did it. But at the time, I don't know. It's just no, of course it's amazing.
I think it was your best photo shoot. I feel like it's been your best year.
Because people think you got surgery. And
Yeah. Oh,
can
yeah,
I,
but you know
and
what?
Alana's had it.
That's
Alana's
it.
had
Oh
it.
my
Bella
God, I
had
get
it.
it
Bella's
every week.
sat over
I get
there.
it.
Yeah.
People say, she must have had this and this done. But just touching on that for a second, Alana can come in because she's had the same comments. Do you believe that's because women don't know this whole process and they assume it's so mythological to do what you did that it must be at the end of a surgeon's knife?
Yeah.
Because they don't see the 3 years, the
Yeah.
36 months of fail, win slightly more, get scared, do the cross sign, have a mate run in the snow, fuck up, hate life, husband, wife, kids, go again, repeat.
Yeah, I think because some of those photos, like my stomach looks great, and if you even the unedited ones, like you can see that I have got some loose skin, but it's not really there. So I think maybe some women almost want it to be surgery.
Of course. Hard work is scary for most people.
Yeah, and it is almost hard to believe. Like when I looked at some of them, it was a bit like, bloody hell, like, yeah, wow, I worked really hard for that.
I think women sometimes I think if you were to say like, that's it, I had surgery, I've done whatever. And I don't care if anyone has or hasn't, just be honest with it. But I think women almost want to go, right, if I get on a plan, I know it's going to be hard, I'm going to have to really graft. Did she have surgery? Oh, she did. Well, I can't afford surgery. That's the only way that she'd got it. And I feel like they almost want to have an excuse not to have to go and do the graft like what we've done.
Yeah,
I think everyone wants the easy option, and I think also, people edit all their photos, they do all that crazy shit. We don't. We show what we look like all year round. Like even when we went to Ibiza, we don't edit our photos. It's like that's what we look like in a bikini. That's what we look. We show it all the time. But I think people just want to go. They can only get that with surgery. Yeah, they can only get that with.
And I think that's why the Ozempic Mounjaro craze is a craze, and I'm sure it'll die out after this $2 billion lawsuit comes through as well, because I think that people look at women like you and think, wow, at their joint ages, with family, with kids and pressure, there must be an easy road.
Yeah.
Because you must have chose it because they choose it or wanted to choose it. And it is, and I'm biased to say, the hardest road is the easiest in the long run because you don't need a drug to maintain this. You could go away for a month and potentially not even train, go out for runs and maintain this. You're healthier because of it. Your hair glows, your skin's great. There's no chance because you've not taken a drug of there being a side effect you don't know. And how does that feel? Because I always say this to people, I believe a lot of the reason that you ladies and you especially look the way you do is the self-satisfaction of doing hard shit. Because you must, not again, I say this because people go, oh, you shouldn't feel better than anyone because you do hard shit. I'm like, no, it's not feeling better than anyone. It's in this sphere, you are better. You did more, tried harder, sacrificed more. If there were a barometer of athletes and things to do, you did the top hard work. You didn't cut corners, you didn't cheat.
Yeah. No, I just, I don't know, I still feel like I'm very humbled. I'm very aware that I don't know, I just like ticking the boxes on a daily. I just think now that I've got into
You don't
it's
really
a
look
lifestyle.
up though, do you? I think like I'm the same. It is just, okay, we've done the training, we've done the workout, rinse and repeat, go again, go again. You don't really, it's only when we do these monumental things that you go, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, right, next goal.
Do you think that's important, Alana? Do you think that people...
It's ingrained.
Because I think people, and again, I say this because obviously people will go, wow, you're trying to get more money. I think people don't do it for long enough and commit enough to it where they'd spend $4,000 on holiday and they won't spend $4,000 on coaching, which genuinely makes a shit holiday feel better.
And they feel the amount of people that go to me, I wish I'd just stayed on plan a little bit longer. I wish I'd just, and like I look at it now and I just think, wow, I'm doing that dieting through the decades that I'm doing once a week. And the amount of response, and like the final one be that this is the only one that's worked, but because it's become a lifestyle. It's the only thing that's become a lifestyle. It wasn't a fad. And I think that's why we just always, it is that box ticking. It's as simple as eat that, do that exercise, eat that. We don't have to think about it.
No.
And with how fast paced our lives are, that it is just part of us now, that it's priceless. And we were saying this a couple of weeks ago, it's very freeing. When you know where you're at, and it's like it gets to a point where you'll go, Scott, we've got a goal now, right? Okay, but 10 weeks. We know that we want to get to extreme good. 10, 12 weeks and we can be like top tier, but we can be 365 days of the year. Right, let's go away on holiday. It was a real last minute thing. Bomb, we were ready to go. Like that is so priceless and so freeing, and it isn't a fad. It's and this is why this jab and all of these other crazy diets, people just don't realise it is there for the taking, and it is really as simple as that. Coaching is so simple.
And I've said this to people, and I'm probably the worst person to do it because I'm not female, so 70% of my client base are, so people will still say, you can't know how a woman feels, you don't have a vagina. And I'm like, 80% of all the gynecologists are men, so you need to fuck them straight off. And you don't need to. I don't need to be a female to understand what females do when females tell me that's what they do in the thousands. So when you're talking about that freeing feeling, and I mean, Hayley will say to me, I'm not where I want to be at your peak, but at your lowest, and the periods where you rightly so go out with the family, and we do spend periods where you'll free eat this week, free eating. You still look incredible by anyone's long shot of their highest standards. Yeah. How does that feel? Because she messaged me the other day and went, I've just picked and go, eat and go all week. And obviously, because she's not on plan, I only ask why because I'm interested. And you'll go, busy, didn't give a shit, did give a shit, wanted a Kentucky fried, she didn't eat Kentucky Fried Chicken, but the point is. But the thing is, how does that feel to then look at yourself now, and we can all say, without blowing smoke, you look like most people's finished articles. That, in my opinion, is so, people go on, Scott's diet will give you an eating disorder. I'm like, no, it's the fucking absolute opposite. Yeah. And if you say it does, then I almost don't care because you're so uneducated, it's insane.
Yeah.
Or not asked anyone who's, and I say this to a lot of people, finish the process. So how does it feel to, like this week, you're where you are. You gained what? Some fluid?
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know, half kg a
half kg. No. Which unless you're 3 foot tall is nothing that you can visibly see anyway.
Yeah, it's delightful, but I do know. But it's. I think where I have yo-yo dieted and where I was as big as I was, it is always in the back of my mind ever so slightly. That's cool. You've done what you need to do this week. Don't fuck it. Don't. You can't get away with this forever. But I wouldn't want to at the same time.
But that's important too.
Yeah. Like I'm very
we know
aware.
Our boundaries now with it,
and when I've got time, I'll meal prep. And do you know what? I love the food I eat now. I really do.
But isn't it freeing to eat? Yeah. And I say this to people, and I do probably go too hard on people. You've chosen to diet in a first world civilized situation with food from a fresh food place in an abundance because you had enough money to overeat. You're as privileged as it fucking gets. This isn't hard.
Yeah.
And it isn't. I don't care how hard it was for you to go from 10,000 calories a day at McDonald's to eating clean. It's not hard on any scale of any country's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's it's very freeing. And just I enjoy eating healthy food now. I really do. I think that's the key. I enjoy my healthy lifestyle and sticking to a plan. What I would say though to anyone that's first joining Francis diet, season your food, because I didn't for the first 3-4 weeks because I just didn't want to do anything.
Do you know what? Me too.
Don't talk about the red peppers.
Ask my wife. I didn't understand, even me, why people wanted to, because I'm obviously a bit autistic. Yeah. So I recently started to season. I've been eating chicken for the first time in 20 years.
Well, you've only just started seasoning it.
100%.
Can you imagine? I only managed 3 weeks.
My friends are like, but you're Scott. And I'm like, I didn't really, because Bella knows what I'm like. If I don't think of something accurately, I'll never, ever do it. You could have any solution in my life that I could choose. And until I see it, I'll go, why wasn't I doing that my whole life? So talk us through that. So seasoning is for you.
Just everything. Like the salads that I make is just, I spend a lot of time chopping it all up like a little salsa. I don't care. My turkey mince, I actually got the seasoning from you though for that. That's a good. We can't reveal because it will sell out.
It will sell out as soon as we reveal any of our little. Honestly, don't even talk about the cream sodas, because every time she'd get on Instagram and say about the cream sodas, I'd have to go to 24 Tesco's
I think you screwed
to find
the was it sugar-free cherry you had up? What did you have up?
Was it the Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper's, yeah.
I couldn't get anywhere after that.
Yeah, that serves you right.
I reshared it and about 50,000 people bought it.
Let my cream soda out the bag.
But yeah, so now just everything I have on plan, it's just seasoned to perfection.
We are going into a seasoning business. That's going to be our next side hustle. We're going to bring out some
probably if you start it at the same, I say this to a lot of people about business, and I've been doing a bit more mentor. I'm like, if you start it and show the passion to the reason you started it, genuinely it more likely goes right than wrong.
Yeah, we're not going to give out the name of it, but that's going to be our other side hustle. Now we're watching Clarkson's Farm. We're up for another little side hustle. And that is how we got our flat stomachs, by just using in this seasoning.
Scraps all the podcasts. Yeah. Edits the first hour.
And I think as well, so Craig eats all the food I eat most of the time. And so does Aidan. And neither of them, every time, Craig will go, oh my God, that what are you using on that chicken? It's so good. I'm like, oh, it's seasoning.
So it's
like
become a
low
family
calorie.
thing now.
Yeah. It's everyone enjoys it. And like sometimes if I make Aidan a separate meal, nothing more than I've just done a slow cooker meal to go in the freezer, and I'll have like my chicken, rice and whatever. He'll go, oh, could I have some of your chicken? And and you just think, I've started to call in the food thief. I have to like make an extra bit. Yeah, for
so funny
Aidan,
with the
because he's
broccoli.
like, can I have some of your broccoli? Can I have some of your chicken? I'm like, mate. But it's just that nice, I'm sorry to say.
So my son, obviously we brought him up we had to, all organic, he only drinks water, blah, blah. He has the odd ice cream, but every time I cook steak, literally his little face is in front. I think I filmed it. Have you seen it? He's like, more. And he'll go through, no joke. And someone actually inboxed me and said he shouldn't be eating that volume of red meat. But he'll go through like 50 grams of steak.
Oh, go on, the
50
boy.
grams of steak, which is,
And you're
I
wondering
understand
what,
this. True, but he does. And I said to him, I think that's why he's so big. Because he'll eat it every day near enough. And he literally sits there. And if you give him chicken Kiev, or we've tried him on lots of food, we will give him pie, and he just has a bit steak. More daddy.
I want steak now.
And I think so. It does become a monkey see, monkey do. They don't fall far from the nest.
Well, mine do, because I still only want to eat a bloody chicken goujon or pasta. So it's very beige in our house. It hasn't rubbed off on them.
Do you know what? One of the other really sweet things he does as well is he'll go, Mummy. Oh, actually, the first time he asked if he can come for a run with me.
But talk people through that, because again,
just because it's just.
It's wholesome, isn't it?
Yeah, and you sort of think, me, you want to run, as if you're even asking
But is
me
it
that.
because he's seen how happy it makes you?
Yeah. Or he'll go, oh, Mummy, should we do some exercise today? And I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
It's adorable.
But yeah, even his little run. And I've got running trainers, which is quite funny because sometimes when he wears them to nursery, he goes, you're going to put your running trainers on today, Mummy? I'm like, no, I'm going to work. No, I've done my run this morning. Oh, but yeah.
But imagine the other way. And again, I speak to, we're going to be releasing a family plan soon, which I'll talk about in the next podcast. But I've said this to people, the reason your kids do the opposite and want the McDonald's and the chocolate and sit on their PlayStations is because the exact thing that Aidan's doing has happened. They've seen the joy, in my opinion, negative habits bring, and they copy. So again, you start on the plan has done infinite. I'm from a family where my mum and dad worked out all their lives. We didn't have crap food, and my dad, like it or not from a psychologist's point of view, made us finish our food, baked potato, sweet corn, steak. We grew up not ever having food focus, happy or sad. We never got given food when we were happy. We never got given food when we were sad. We weren't allowed to eat shit. To be fair, we weren't allowed to eat shit if we were sad anyway. So do you think that has been one of the major pluses to your fitness journey, that your son is now learning what I think is the right way to live a long and healthy life?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I really want him growing up thinking it is normal. I do. I don't want him to
isn't
ever
it?
think.
It is normal, though, isn't it?
I
We're
know,
allowed to have
but
this all the time. But isn't the
very spooky
negativity behind? If you go to a pub and have 6 drinks a night, or you have your fags, you're like everyone else. But if you care about your abs and track your calories, you're a twat.
No, I know.
Completely.
It's wild.
We always talk about this, and the energy that you have for him. We both are very outdoors. We're very outdoors with our kids, aren't we? And the energy. And I'm like, wow, can you imagine me 5 stone heavier, you 5-6 stone heavier? We wouldn't be out doing all the bits that we do. We are always out of them, always out in the open air doing bits and bobs. Like, you've got so much energy for him.
Yeah, you're my friend Chris. Pissed me off with your
it's just like,
I haven't got to do more.
Oh, I don't even talk about them go-karts the other day, because I done my legs on the go-karts. I did have a shit fit on that. John then recorded. I was like, oh, please. But no, the energy you've got, that's a major thing. Everything that he sees is a positive, isn't it? But it is wild, isn't it? It's, you'll get bashed for being lean. Louisa Zisserman the other week was
I know. Did you see that?
absolutely
I watched it. I know.
slated.
Slated.
Oh, and someone really went on her because she was in a bikini, and she was like, "This is so wild that you are attacking me for that." But yet, if I was sitting here in a pint having a pint,
look at Spencer Matthews, the bullying he had for going teetotal and getting in shape. And I've never met him, but I know people who know him. And I wrote on there, I went, in any walk of life, doing better for yourself without toxins in your body would be heralded, apart from in the UK.
Oh, I know.
yeah.
And that's why I say to people, fit shaming is so much worse because, and I do say this and I get always cancelled for it, or try to be cancelled. I don't care for being cancelled. The point is, people will say, oh yeah, but it's easy for you. I'm like, it's so much fucking harder to be in shape than when I wasn't in shape, or periods when I've decided to be lazy. It's abstract, easy to sit on the sofa and watch box sets and eat shit food. As you've said, never, and I'll say this honestly, and I'm going to show more of my life, never did I find it easy being a national athlete all the way to getting back in shape now like I have. My first jiu-jitsu lesson the other month was embarrassing, debilitating, humbling. Graham will come on, a grown man choked me unconscious nearly when I was stood on my own 2 feet. On my own 2 feet. I didn't even know it was coming, and the blue started to close around my eyes. But my point is this, I had to then be like, right, this, and I have to admit, and he knows this, there were several sessions when I genuinely got in the car and went, well, I've started now, I may as well just stop. And I thought to myself, do you know what? This was what happened when you first swam, you first played basketball, you first lifted weights, you were really shit. And then you weren't so shit. And how do you women feel when people say to you, like, am I going to be shit and start? Do you feel people are scared to be told, well, yeah, it's going to be fucking excruciatingly painful, probably. It's going to be really shit, but you've just got to get through it. Like you've just said then, that it just is a day-by-day process.
Yeah, you just have to keep going. I think you, when I come off that marathon, you gave me a Hell Week. I think that was the first one I had.
Shout out to everyone that's Five's Hell Week.
Oh, God, yeah, we done that for one of the photo shoots. We filmed it and we chatted the whole way through it, didn't we? He was like, did you two actually even work? Because we were like...
But I remember trying to do it on maybe 3 days after the marathon, maybe 4 days, I can't remember. And I couldn't do box jumps. I was shockingly shit. And I remember messaging you going, could we change this? Like, I can't, like, can we change this? And you sort of went, no. Why would you ask that? No.
I remember saying it actually.
You messaged me actually. You went, is she serious about this photo shoot? I was like, oh,
and I was like, he won't change it. I'm just so shit. And I've got a whole week of this. But actually,
I think I said something like, I was like, well, why would you want to change
it?
You kind of haven't, you haven't kind of got good. And so I'm a huge fan of definitely not quitting things early. Genuinely, I'm never going to be a ballerina. Tried it when I played pro basketball. I never was good. So I would, I'm just, I'm shit in pink lycra. That's the thing. And I said to people, you're going to be shit to the point where you'll know if you're genuinely not meant for this. But when it comes to weight loss and fitness, every single human being can be leaner and fitter. How long you do it indicates how much leaner and fitter you get. So you have to keep going.
Yeah. And then actually, I remember just chucking my phone, for fuck's sake. Whatever,
I'm not even liked by people who like me.
keep going. I was like, oh. But then, actually, the following week, I've got a video of me doing the box jumps and I was smashing it. Yeah. So it's just got to keep going. I didn't want to, but...
And a lot of the time, I think coaches, you're so scared to tell people to shut the fuck up and carry on and try again. A woman said to me the other day, Scott, I'm trying to do press-ups on my knees. I can't do more than 3. And I went, okay. And she went, can I change them? I went, no, just get 4 and then get 4.5 and then get 5. And then in 6 weeks, you'll be able to do 1 proper one. And she went, oh. And I went, like anything. And then I realized, oh God, the paralysis by the analysis of you're not good straight away actually screws people. And I'm like, try any new habit right now. Parenting. Jesus Christ, the hardest
I'm still winging it and they're she's 11.
I was about to say, don't ever be around my son too long for my wife. But the point is, it never will be perfect. And again, put a weighted vest on to do press-ups. You're back to shit again.
Yes.
Do clap press-ups with a weighted vest on. I can't do them. Oh, yeah. And people say to me all the time, I'm like, I can't do a muscle up with a weighted vest on. I'm trying. So I'm as shit as you who can't do one.
Yeah, pull-ups are mine.
But the difference is I'm aware that it might be a year before. That's why I love jiu-jitsu, because I may never be a black belt, but I've just got a stripe. Yay. I may get 2, and I'm hoping, because I am a really, really stubborn twat, that by the time I'm 50, I might be good enough that my son learns with me. But that's the point, because otherwise I'm going to be 50 and never done a thing.
Yeah.
And for me, and this is why I was trying to touch on the mindset thing, for me, that's just not something I'm prepared to deal with, the fact that I've not gone forward slightly.
Yeah. Oh God. And it's a little bit of growth. I've had a few people check in this week and they were like, Alana, I've not been able to do X, Y, Z. And I went, you shouldn't be able to do it all. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, but
you're meant to
even if I went back to that very first bit, I would struggle to do it. Like it was, I remember the first program that you sent me and it was like the Magna Carta. It was reels and reels of it. It was only home body weight workouts. I remember standing in my back garden.
The Word documents.
The Word document. Oh my God. And it was.
Thanks to Alex for changing everything.
Jesus Christ. Do you know who I was speaking to about that? I was speaking to Naz and we call it the Da Vinci Code, we call it. And I went, oh my God, do you remember in lockdown?
I hadn't found
Harper.
Grammarly or a dictation unit yet, so my dyslexia
honestly.
potentially.
And
was
I'm
off the
dyslexic
chart.
as well, but I sort of knew the vibe that you was going for. And even for me, Nad would message me, the travel lady, and she'd go, Lana, what is that? I'm like, I haven't got a fucking clue. I think it's that, and that. And I'd get out in my back garden. I remember I had these dirty patio windows, and I'd just grab my belly and I'd be like, fucking let yourself get like this. This is why you're out in here. I could hardly do this. Every time I'd done a star jump, I'd piss myself. I would do a burpee. I'd get to the floor. My boobs were like melons and they would hit the deck and I'd see the reflection in the glass. I'd be like, you fucking let yourself get like this. You've just got to keep going though. And I couldn't afford to, I was just like, this is your last chance.
Yeah.
This is your last chance. I remember trying to do a press up and I couldn't even bend them bingo wings. I think I went like that. And then my proudest moment.
So do you both think that kind of almost self-loathing did drive you? That it's not a bad thing to go, oh, what the fuck have I done to myself?
I think when you're at the point, we both were at breaking point.
Yeah.
I think I was at, oh, fuck. It was an old fuck moment for me because I'd only ever been that size with being pregnant. And then I'd let myself get like that for just being a greedy gannet and just boozing and just spiraled. Yeah, I really had the self-loathe.
Yeah, I had it. I just didn't want to. Honestly, Aidan really does play a big role in this because I just didn't want to be that mum that hated herself and kind of through the years just kind of push that onto him. Like, I didn't want to ever speak negatively about myself in front of him or pull myself apart or constantly be on a diet or up and down or almost label food good and bad. Like, no, mummy can't have that because
we don't do that.
I didn't want to do any of that. And I think just try. I'm just a bit like, you're still breathing, you're still here. Just what's the worst that can happen if you give it your all? Just give it your all, see what happens.
And it's never perfect.
No,
it's never perfect, is it? And I think that is the thing. It's never perfect. Don't ever think, well, that weren't great, because we walk out and say that weren't great every day, but we can make great out of it not being great.
Yeah.
And no one's judging you. Do you know what I mean? It's not a competition. No one is judging you. Just go out there and just give it your all every day. Just get up and go again.
100%.
So to women who will listen to this, as we hit the final part, and they'll think to themselves, but I am so, even though they can see your starts and they think they're so far away, what would be some of the take homes you would say to them? Because obviously many of them may not have you as friends. Many of them may not have made friends. Many of them may not have partners who are as on board with them as I believe they should, because I believe in partners being your biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
What would be your, if there were 50 women now sat in the crowd here and they said, look, we're looking to start, and again, any plan, let's not say this is not me selling my business through a podcast. What would you say to them? Because obviously no one can feel what it was like to feel like you both did.
Do you want to spend the next year, 2 years moaning constantly, day in, day out, and being miserable, or do you want to try and do something about it? I know it might sound really, really cliche, but
what have you got to lose?
Yeah.
What have you got to lose? And it is that time is going to pass no matter what. Yep. Like, to wake up in a year's time and go, wow, bloody hell, I'll give it a good go and look at where we're at. Like, it's...
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. It's...
Just start.
Like, what have you got to lose? Like, just get out the fads. Yeah. Start doing something that again.
So what stopped you both doing the fads?
I don't know. Well, I've done every one of them, so we're only on to part 2, and we've got a long way to go yet. So this for me was like, this is the last thing I'm going to try. Like, I'd heard so much about you. I literally would be obsessed, like doom scrolling and messaging all these people because I think they can't be real people. I'm going to message them.
Do you know, it blows me away when people, and I'll comment on other threads of things, and people go, look to your page, just a scam. And I'll go,
I did think it was. No, I did think it was, because I've never seen anything like it.
Hundreds of people. I'm like, do you think, and you paid them to say that? I'm like, I need to make more if I can still pay people, because there's a lot of people to pay.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I'm not the most liked in the world, but I'd be paying a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I would message all of them on there and be thinking, this can't be real. Or I remember doing my first check-in, and then you voice noted me back when we realised that I'd been a functioning addict for the whole of my life. And it was like the Wizard of Oz. I was like, oh my God, I've got to speak to the Oz. Because I think before you, I'd been on Joe Wicks. Oh God, don't even talk about Joe. Well, that's another one of my little fads.
Not literally, by the way.
Yeah, not literally. And then...
if it helps get you in shape, I guess.
And it's not like you ever...
Give him a pack of Jaffa cakes, he's anyone's, apparently. Sorry, Joe, don't sue me.
After that, oh God, Mr. Graham would be pulling his hair out. After that little fad, and I just remember you like speaking to you. I was like, oh my God, you actually, you never get to speak to him. And then you just messaged him. I was like, oh, he's a real person. You actually do speak to him.
It's funny, because I've obviously changed the way I do a lot of feedback recently, and people and bless them, they do cry and they come back and they're like, I didn't think you really liked this. I'm like, my whole job is to make you the finished product. Like, I'm only harsh if you're not trying. And if you're trying, I will be arguably your greatest support, even with husbands, wives, friends, out, because I know what it takes to do this.
Yeah.
I've walked thousands and tens of thousands through it, And I think, and what's our relationship been? Because that is what some people think. Like you just said the other day about Hell Week, and people think there is some void between the way I come across on social media and the fact that a lot of you are now friends. Alana was at my wedding. I say to people, like, this isn't a game for me. This is something I take really seriously.
Yeah. I think you're so passionate about it, and you know how to get the best out of people. And that might hurt some people's pride, because sometimes maybe they've been coached by the wrong sort of people that do really just want to take their money and they don't really give a shit. Whereas you do give a shit. And like I say, you want to make it that it is our lifestyle. It isn't a fad. And like we never had crosswords, I think only when I fucked up. But even with that, you were just like, look, you're better than that.
I think
that killed me more than anything. It's like, you're better than that. You were so close, but you need to take a break. And it was a learning curve for me. It's, you had a little paddy after 6 weeks, but you soon realised.
I can't believe I missed that.
No,
honestly,
even when well, let's not go back to those messages. Honestly, I said to Alana in the car, I was like, oh God, if I could scroll back, I'd
still be there.
Do you know what? I think to be honest with me, I only went about a year because I knew the basics, but I didn't know. I knew you obviously, but I mean,
I could probably find them, but no, I feel like I was quite rude. You weren't rude back, but I feel like I was quite rude. So I'm
don't try, by the way, people. I will be
rude
back.
No,
sleepless nights, babies, and all that.
No, you're a good coach. Like, even when I come back after those 6 weeks, and I think I got cocky again. I was like, oh, can I have an off plan? No. What? Why do you want an off plan so soon? Week 4? No. You don't tell me what I want to hear. Like, you just,
I'd laugh and you'd go that, I think I'm just going to ask if I could just go and have 1 glass of wine and a Pizza Express. And I'd be like...
Or my favourite was when I think we got to the December, and that is when I'd lost the majority of the weight. And I'd said, oh, so this is what I want to do over Christmas. I sent him a list.
Oh, I sent him a list. I remember seeing the list.
And even then he went, no, in shape people just don't do that.
Now that bit I do remember, because I remember reading it thinking, I don't think you understand what we all do. Like, that's not Christmas.
I don't even think I replied. I just laughed. I went, good luck.
This was a long list. I had big plans.
Yeah, that was like the Da Vinci Code as well. Yeah. Little pickers wear big knickers.
I know, this is it.
Listen, that's it. Die by the sword.
So where can people find you? Because obviously one thing that was amusing to myself, Chris, on Facebook, was the amount of people would be like, she's a fake person, she's not real. Not that you haven't documented every second, and even with, and I say this with stretch marks, and when I used to be a bodybuilder and things, you've shown your stretch marks, loose skin, Alana has, you've shown it, ad infinitum to things that have been negative, but people still believe you. So where are you? How do you document your journey?
No, it's mainly on Instagram. I have got a Facebook, but you won't find it.
What Hayley did next.
Yeah, what Hayley did next on
Hayley
Instagram.
did next,
That's the easiest way to find me. And I try and post regularly. Now and again I disappear, but not for long.
But then, I say to people, it's natural to disappear if you want to. Not everyone has to be a shop front for what they did next.
But so on Instagram, I try my very best to post daily, to show that I'm doing it all.
So to close out, what do you think the state of so you spoke about Mum's Net and you spoke about a lot of things women go through. What do you think, to close out, would be your kind of final word on mums and their self-belief when it comes to becoming like you? Because whether they want to be your final form, everybody, and they can lie to my face if they wants to be fitter, healthier, a better role model for their kids, and to not have food noise, to not have body image issues, to the point when it becomes destructive.
I think just get started. I am a completely different person than I was before having Aiden, be that mentally, physically. Just the way my life is now is wild to me. If I really sit back and think about it, and the person I am, and what I do daily, it's amazing. And you can get to any goal that you kind of set yourself. You just need to start and persist with it, and get a really good coach.
Yeah, I do say to people, without it being me, a mentor in some respect is worth its weight in gold.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
you need the accountability, 1,000,000%, because not everyone is going to get it from a partner. You're not going to get it from your best friend. Your best friend's always going to, we chat, and sometimes you say things and I'm like, right, do you want me to say it as a best friend, or do you want me to say it as like, you need to kick up the butt?
Yeah.
And I think, I think this is why it's good to have a coach, because they're not going to sugarcoat anything.
No.
And you're paying to get that result, which I think, like we said before, it's quite isolating being a parent. You could be on your own a long time. You might not have the support system around you. So just get the professional help with being coached.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming down.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The podcast will go in a different direction. We're not just going to stick to fitness now. So we're going to talk parenting. We're going to talk finance. We're going to talk everything from car sales, the military, to wokeness, to politics. So stay tuned, because these will be rolling out nice and quick. So thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.